What's up, everyone? Today started that short settlement window. Hey, today, holy shit. But yeah, GME and AMC had a day, I guess you could say. Let's go and look at the calculator for this coming Monday. Up 2% for AMC today, not too shabby. Probability calculator shows for next Monday, or the 3rd of June. We are going to look at a little bit higher than before, but we have a 42.94% chance to close above and a 57.06 chance to close below. That's for AMC. Now let's check GME. And keep in mind, GME does have earnings next week. That is something to take into consideration. GME came back as well, about the same as AMC, about a 2.3% run. If we take a look at the 3rd of Monday, about the same. 53% chance to close above and a 47% chance to close below. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the options for each one. Let's go ahead and do options all for, let's do GME first. And we're going to take a look at some of the options heading into next week since they're all fresh and updated after today's close. Oh, those feeds are still coming in. Okay, so we have all the options here. We're going to go ahead and make a new chat, GPT-4 here, 4.0 rather. We're going to upload this. Let's see, downloads, right here. And we're going to do this. Visualize all second order Greeks and Greeks across each contract using a scatter plot with a dark background. X-axis is going to be is the strike price. Y-axis is the value of the Greek being measured. And we'll see what it can come up with here. But give us some insight into next week and actually the remainder of the chain. And as far as the Greeks we're looking at here, we're going to be looking at Delta, Gamma, Theta, Vega, Vana, Vama, Charm, Veda, Speed, Zama, Color, and Ultima. Now, if you've never heard of many of those, it's because they're the second order Greeks, such as Vana, Vama, Charm, Veda, Speed, Zama, Color, and Ultima. Those are the second order Greeks. The primary Greeks are going to be your Vega, Theta, Theta, Vega, Gamma, and Delta, and Rho. Yes, plot individually for each one. Calls green, puts red. And then once we get it to do what we want, then we'll look at AMC as well. And we'll see what we can distinguish by looking at the Greeks for the entire options chain. This is what we're going to be printing out here. So for example, when you look at this picture here, each X that you see on the chart here is going to be a strike or a options contract. So here's the delta for calls and puts, comparatively speaking. We have the gamma. Oh, look at that. That is sexy. Okay, so we have delta. Looks pretty symmetrical there. We have the gamma, a couple of outliers here. Theta, Vega, Vana, Vama. You can see here that the put side on Vama is much more pronounced than the call side. Then we have the charm, which is your delta decay. Pretty symmetrical there. You have a lot more stacked here at the call side on the lower strikes. But yeah, I mean, look at these. Look at the Veda. The Veda goes all the way out to, I mean, the outlier here is about $60. You got a big strand of contracts there on the put side. And then you got speed for call side. That looks pretty symmetrical. Then you got Zama, also symmetrical, leaning more heavy on the put side. Then we have the color, which also looks pretty symmetrical. Then we have Ultima. So that's the individual scatter plots for GME. Now let's do AMC. All options, AMC. Geez. Okay, all options, AMC. We'll get these downloaded and uploaded to GPT-4. do the same thing here, and we'll say do the same thing here. Point out any noticeable outliers for either calls, puts. And as you can see here, this is in fact all the options for these time spans, or I'm sorry, for these tickers. Quite a bit of data to work with there. It's doing the analyzation right now. Do. Come on, man. There we go. Okay, so we got delta for AMC. Oh, and actually it's going to try to mark the outliers for us. I don't see any here on the delta. None on the gamma. Okay, so cool. So we got put outliers and call outliers. Don't see any there. Don't see any here. Don't see any anywhere, really. It looks pretty symmetrical, though, except for Vama. You got the more put side, heavy. Call side on the charm. And it looks like you have the higher values of charm out here deep in the money, which may be an incentive for them to want to exercise those deep in the money contracts. So keep that in mind. But yeah, pretty symmetrical. But this is just one way or methodology of looking at the different data metrics regarding the options contract. If we look at the chains themselves, like for through Fidelity's little options chain here, we can see for this week clearly all of the resistance for AMC here was stacked at 4.5, which is likely why we didn't make it past there. And then we have most of the support actually right around 4.5 as well, closing in between 4 and 4.5 at 433. Now, if we go to next week, you can see here that the support for AMC is still at right around 4. You have a lot down here at 2.5 as well. And the resistance is at 4 as well. I'm sorry, the resistance is at 5 for next week, up from 4.5. So you got a little bit more room to work with next week on the call side for AMC as opposed to this week. And then if we go one more week out to the 14th of June, then we can see it's pretty much a similar picture here. Resistance is out at 5, support is at 4. Let's check GME. Whoops. For GME, all the support is right here at $20 for this current week. We have the resistance stacked at, it was at 25 for today, or for this week rather, with the next level being at 24, and then the third level being at 23. Let's check for next week, the 7th. And okay, so for the 7th, it gets interesting. Okay, so we have the resistance moves out to 25, support stays at 20. So that's good to see. And then we also have a lot of resistance out here all the way at 30, 35. Looks like a nice little chain ladder here. So it's something to keep an eye on moving into earnings next week. And then for the 14th, we have resistance all the way out at 30, your base resistance at 30. And then your support, looks to me the most support is going to be at 17, but you still have pretty close to 17 is the next $20 mark. So keep that in mind, folks. That's what I got for you today. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, what a crazy end for today, man. And for those in the group, dude, I swear to God, let's go find it. 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 Okay, where was it? Okay, this one right here. This motherfucker, this 5240 came in today. Right? This 5240 call comes in. When it was around 1.8. That's not the one I'm looking for, though. Hold on, let me find the other SPX one. This one right here, came in at 35 cents per contract, 52.60 expiring today. Well, if we go look at that same contract now, and we look at the chain here, and we look at that strike, 42.60. Why is it not showing all the strikes? Okay, 42.60. Oh, it's because I'm not on SPX. So let's go to 4260 or 5260 rather, and look. I didn't trust my own feeds today, man, but if I would have, that mofo came into the Discord at 35 fucking cents, and it closed the motherfucking day at $1.9 thousand bid. Fuck! Anyways, have a good weekend.